All right, everyone. I'm guessing my my sound was down. Okay, welcome everybody. Actually, let's see here. Hey, as you hop on, please let me know how you're doing today. If you're happy, sad, glad, or mad, and how things are going this week. It is starting to cool down here in Texas where I live, so I had to actually put a jacket on this morning to go outside. I don't think that's going to last forever, but it sure has been nice. The humidity is down. It's pretty gorgeous. Awesome. So my sound is working now. Hi, Trish. Welcome. Hi, Jen. Oh my goodness. I do this so often. So I had to push my pause button already today. And you have to see my shirt. I'm actually wearing my Pause and Breathe shirt I got from Holly over at the center. Such a cool short shirt. It reminds me that I need to just push pause when I'm confused, when I'm frustrated, when I'm overwhelmed, so that I can get some inspiration on what the next right step is. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. Let me know how you're doing this week. Good to see you guys all. Make sure you say hi to me. Give me some emojis. All right. We want this feed to go out to all the other people in the group. We've got an awesome group. So I have a couple things I want to go over before we go into this case study with the rhythmic movements. I really want you to hear Jenn's story and the experience that rhythmic movement has had on their family. And a lot of the wins I'm going to be talking about today really relate to rhythmic movement as well. It's such an important part of the group coaching program that it is really foundational for helping our children to really stop the meltdowns, stop the aggression, reduce the tantrums, help them listen better, help them achieve their potential, help them use their whole brain to problem solve and to be flexible. Jen said she's sad. I'm sorry you're sad, Jen. I would ask you why you're sad, but this might not be the place. Oh. Hi, John and Deanna. Can those shirts be ordered from somewhere? Love it. You know what? She's not selling these anymore, but I'm totally tempted to just start making them myself. So I will get back to you. Let me write your name down, in fact. John and Deanna Boykin. Yeah, it was just a fundraiser, and so they don't consistently have it. But it's pretty easy to set something up like that because I would love to give these away as free gifts in the next workshop. Hi, Trish. My 9-year-old boy twin is driving us crazy with his food aversions. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Some of our uniquely wired kids can really have challenges with food. So is he adverse to it, meaning he just doesn't like it, or he has major reactions to his food, Trish? I'd be interested in that. Again, as you hop on, say hi to me. Let me know that you are watching, where you're watching from. Jen, ants battle really bad. So the annoying negative thoughts crawling around your head today, pretty bad. Well, we have a phone call later on, so we can chat then if you want to. All right. So I have a couple great announcements and go over the wins. So we have a few more spots left in the 6-month Family Connections coaching. And so I'm actually extending the bonuses from the weekend until Tuesday night at midnight. So if you wanted to still get in and participate in that and really take on reaching the goals that you have for your family at your pace with support for your implementation, then please join us in the Family Connections coaching. I will be there 100% and I will help guide you at your pace to reach the most important of your family goals and to really help your children thrive. So no more contention and crisis and chaos, but we'll help you get to that place of confidence and courage, peace, curiosity, right? And compassion and harmony, like all of those things we really want for our families. I can help you step by step, very gently apply these principles. So make sure that you join the group before Tuesday at midnight and you get 6 bonus sessions with me. And if you pay in full, that's actually you get an extra 12. So that's 18 sessions with me. Like, that's a lot of sessions, and those are private. So we get to really talk about exactly what's going on for you and how to support you. So please, please, please know that I've never given away this many coaching sessions, but this group, I just really wanted to offer more to you guys. I wanted to make sure that you got the results that you wanted. So if you are feeling like it's your next right step, then please hop on to the sales page and join the group. We'd love to have you. So I'll post something and remind you about the other bonuses that are on there. And love, love, love how well the workshop went. So, Trish, I lost my sound again. Hi, Lou. I'm from Pittsburgh. So good to have you. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so that was the first big announcement. The second announcement is I'm going to go over the wins that you all posted in the group over the weekend. And I've been super excited to share these because many of these are connected to rhythmic movements. So if you have not watched day number 2 video, and all the videos come down tomorrow night at midnight. So if you're going to pick a video to watch, I would say watch day 2 and watch day 3. If you have to choose, number 2 goes over the rhythmic movements. Number 3 is about reframing the behavior, and it's called the radical reframe. Extremely transformational. It makes an incredible difference in the way that you interact with your child. The rhythmic movements are powerful. They're organizing because the body organizes the brain. The movement of the body actually organizes the brain. So let me read these wins. Totally love. Hi, Lou. I'm having trouble keeping my son's attitude to school. Oh, so you're having a hard time getting your son to focus on doing his school. Is that what you're meaning? Because let me tell you, you are not alone. You are not alone. So I want you to just take notice of how much is expected. Does he need a break between classes? Does he need something heavy on his lap? Does he need something to play with? Some kids don't even want to be on the video. So recognize what's going on below the surface and see what might be hindering him and causing some stressors about school or his attitude for school. Okay, get curious. All right. John and Deanna. Oh, good. You were on here right now. Last week, less meltdowns, less aggressive meltdowns. That's so good to hear. He was easier to reason with. Didn't take as long for him to do what I needed him to do. Still fidgety during short e-learning times. Okay. So one question. I know you're on here, Deanna. Are you doing the rhythmic movements with him? Does he have any sensory challenges? Does he need something heavy on his lap? Does he need something to, work with his hands to be able to stay focused? Please, if you can, just put those in. Yes, e-learning. Okay, so put those in the comments, Deanna, if you want. I'd love a little bit more clarity on that. Okay, Kaya said my daughter wanted to use my pause button. That's pretty awesome, right? Why don't you draw a pause button on your daughter's hand? She can use it as much as she needs to, right? Lisa Cash says, my 5-year-old daughter is sleeping better than she has in her entire life. She asks for her rhythmic movements before bed, and when we are done, she says good night, rolls over, and is out. Also, she has had less meltdowns, and she is able to calm herself a little better so they do not last as long. Lisa, that is life-changing for a family, isn't it? Absolutely life-changing. Couple things going on there. Of course, the rhythmic movements really organize the brain. They relax and calm the nervous system. And when our children are getting the sleep that they really need, they're actually able to handle the day better. So they characteristically have less meltdowns. They're able to navigate through the stressors of life. So I love that she is getting the sleep that she needs and that it's working so well. I want you to keep me updated on how she's doing as you continue the rhythmic movements. I'd love to get your story in one of our case studies. It would be awesome. Okay, Casey Guyton says, Trey asked me last night to do rhythmic exercises after the night before saying he didn't want to. We are doing mildly better with less meltdowns and shorter ones. Well, that's good. That's a win for sure. Recognizing that he is going into fight or flight. I know with me as an adult, my fight or flight was so ingrained into my biology. And for me, it is fight mode, right? So some kids run away and some people want to fight, right? So Casey, you're saying you're more of a fighter, right? I had to get on meds to stop, as I described to the doctor, the Pavlov's dog effect that would have the adrenaline coursing through my body. Yes. So we can wire our brains for reaction depending on our upbringing, or if we have trauma in our background, if we just habitually are constantly in fight or flight for different reasons. So I'm glad that you've gotten the support that you need, Casey. And those rhythmic movements are incredibly potent for our children as well as ourselves. So I would really encourage you, Casey, to do those rhythmic movements yourself. And if you need the whole course, it's in the full coaching program. So it's in the membership site. However, if you just need the whole sensory motor mini course for the rhythmic movements, then you can purchase that by itself. So Jenn, if you don't mind putting in the links at some point, the sales page link as well as the sensory motor mini course link. That would be awesome. Okay. Mary Rocha says, #wins. I had a successful week and am celebrating with a date night. My students are utilizing the principles in the workshop and are taking breaks to rethink their actions. It's amazing to watch. Oh, congratulations, Mary. So you're taking these principles. I have quite a few other teachers that are using these same principles in their classroom, helping them. Yes, teaching those to the students so that they're able to push pause, they're able to rethink their action. Oh, so exciting because you have that effect on lots of different families. I love it. Okay, and the last one is from Kelly Fogelberg. She says, I have to share a #win. Today I introduced a new limit on screen time. And not only did my son accept it without complaint, but I immediately saw result in his behavior. Yes, for sure. He was so sweet all day and played with his little brother and almost no fighting. Amazing. All week I've been making a point to spend time really focusing 100% on him and what he wants to do. I have also been working on me first. I got the sensory motor mini course today, and I can't wait to learn and implement that too and watch how things continue to improve. Amanda Stoutwalker, yeah, I can't thank you enough for this workshop. I have barely started implementing what I've learned, and I'm already seeing a difference. I had heard before of a lot of the things you teach, but never quite in the way that you teach them. The biggest game changer to me was the idea of looking for the real stressors. At first, I thought that just meant go to bed because he's scared of the dark, and while that kind of thing is so also important, I have a deeper meaning behind that than just the facts that he hates when things go differently than he thinks they're supposed to. I also knew that I ought to reduce his screen time and spend those things on and more one-on-one time with him. But I had never put the two and two together, just how those things and how they directly correlated to his meltdowns. I am feeling inspired and prepared and best of all, hopeful. Yes, yes. If there's anything that I want as a result from the workshop is for you to have increased hope in the future, increased potential, right? Your belief that something new can happen and you have the tools to be able to do those. So amazing. Yay, 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 yay. Okay, let's say thank you again for all that you have taught. You are amazing. Okay, so great. Thank you for all of those wins. Such a cool thing. Deanna says, been doing movements past few days. Good. Have tried giving him something to hold during e-learning, but he just plays with whatever we give him, throws it up in the air, holds up to the camera, etc. Okay. Which is distracting, right? So it's not really meeting the need. There's something else that he needs. Yeah. One of the things that some students do is they have their child on a balance board. That can be helpful, which is something that's kind of like a wobble board. something for them to stand on in case they would rather stand up, having alternative chair seating. Inside the group, Jenn did one and she reposted that lately on some alternative seatings for kids. That was really helpful. So I would try something like that, maybe an alternative seating. When you have a seat that has one peg leg, that can really help a child who has a hard time focusing because they have to use all of their core muscles to concentrate, to get their body balanced to be able to concentrate. So let me know if you have any other questions about that. He might need something heavy on his lap. That might be helpful. Or enough movement beforehand. Okay. Thank you for posting, Aubrey. I have given Trey stretching bracelets with mahjong tiles to wear during line in school. It has helped because it doesn't fall on the floor. I would love to see what that is, Casey. Can you post a picture of that? Because I have a mahjong set, because my friend lives in Hong Kong and I went there and we ended up getting one of the mahjong games. It was pretty cool. So I would love to see what that is. You can post a picture in here or on the group. Okay, Sam says, how long are last week's videos going to be available? Suzanne, they are available till tomorrow night at midnight. But we will be making them available for purchase if you're interested in that. Okay, so there's a way to get them to watch them. But for the workshop, everything comes down out of the group for the workshop on Tuesday. But I'm here every week with a live and we interact. So it's a very vibrant community. We don't go anywhere. We just take the videos down from the workshop. Okay. Thanks, Jenn, for posting those for the sensory motor mini course. Cool. And then for the sales page, perfect. Okay, Deanna says, as far as sensory issues, he is clumsy, crashes into things, will tolerate loud noises if given warning of it beforehand. Balance issues. Okay, so that reminds me of something vestibular and possibly proprioception. Does he have low muscle tone? That would be an interesting question. Is he just kind of low muscle tone? Tell me about that, because if he's crashing into things, oftentimes that's kids who need more input. And so heavy work activities are really powerful for them. So let me see. Okay. Yeah, and balance issues. Yeah, so I can give you something heavy on his lap could be helpful to give him the input so he knows where his lap is, which helps him be able to focus on school rather than moving and tapping and being distracted, so that he knows where his body is in space. I know that's kind of a weird way of saying it, but sometimes our children don't interpret their bodies, and so subconsciously they feel imbalanced because there's something that they can't feel. So these are kids who will chew on their shirt. So they'll get enough proprioception in their mouth so they can go, okay, I know where my mouth is. I can relax now and learn. Okay, these are kids who they might fall out of their chair. They might have a hard time writing. They might hold the pen too hard or too light. Okay. Let's see. We've made lots of his work interactive to help him have something manipulative, but falls in line with the classroom. That's great, Jenn. Okay. Muscle tone is good. All right. Cool. So if he's crashing into things and he's wanting that input, I would say giving him some heavy work activities, pulling things that are heavy, carrying things that are heavy, putting something heavy on his lap might help him concentrate. All right. So let's see. That's my youngest to a T. Hi, Kelly. Good to see you. That's my youngest to a T. So let's talk about now. I'm going to put on this testimonial that we did a couple months ago, and I was interviewing Jenn. It's an incredible interview. I want you guys to see it. I thought it would be a fabulous live to feed over into here. So if you like it, if anything stands out to you, please put it in the comment section. I want to know what matters to you. I want to know what you find powerful, important, the things that, kind of strike something inside of you like, that's important, I want to learn more about that, please put that in the comments. That's really helpful. That kind of feedback is. All right, so I'm going to pull this up now, get the video going, start it where I need to start.
I just tried to do it with a play in the guest. I was just in Facebook group. There was, I don't know, almost 11 people on there when I finally said, I'm out of here. Sorry, I'm ditching you. I'm starting a new live. So make sure that when you get on again, say hi to us and let us know that you're here. And give us some hearts and some thumbs up if you're enjoying what we're talking about. Today I have Jenn here as a guest. She joined the workshop in the Whole Brain Connections group back in March, and we've been working together, and she's been a great asset to the group. We'd love to have her. And hi, Abigail and Shirley and Paula. So good to see you guys. And so I had talked during the first workshop about rhythmic movements and the power that they have to integrate the sensory system and help calm and connect the brain. And I did it as part of the concept that I teach about looking below the surface of a behavior. So if your child is having out of control behavior, instead of just saying, oh, they're just being defiant or ridiculous or, mean, or just having a meltdown, you can say, okay, what's really below the surface of all of this? What's going on? So I always make it a point to share the sensory piece with so many people, because I have a child that's got sensory challenges, and it really does play into their behavior and their experience of life. And so with that, hi, Lorraine. Cool, you guys found us again. First of all, I just want everyone to know that if you're interested in the sensory motor mini course that we're going to be talking about today, these rhythmic movements, you can click the link in the header. It's there. And I also posted it within the Facebook page. So if you're looking into it a little bit more, there's a link that's already there. If you have any interest, for those who are new, if you would like to join our Calm the Behavior Chaos workshop, that link is also up in the header. So if you click on the main picture at the top of the page, you click on that, there'll be the links for you to choose from, and you can join the workshop. So it goes until next Friday at midnight. We are on day 5 today. I do a live at 2 o'clock Central. So if you have time, you can come on over there. You can catch up on all of those videos. They're all recorded in the unit section in churches to help kids get the movement that develops their brain. I help educate teachers and faculty on the power of movement. And so this is a great story we get to hear today from Jenn about the power of really simple movement and what it can have an effect on your family and your children. So hi, Jenn, welcome.
Hi, hi Amanda. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Okay, cool. Jenn, I'm so glad that you came on today. You have been an incredible asset in the group answering questions. Can you tell us just a little bit of your own background, like your schooling and your perspective?
Yes, I actually have a bachelor's degree in psychology. And before I had kids, I worked for about 7 years, and that was solely done in the area of behavioral health with kids. I've worked with inpatient treatment facilities. I've done schools. I've done in the home with parents and out in the community. So I've kind of been all over the place and done some direct with the kids as well as some of the behind the scenes, but it's mostly been that direct behavioral modification type stuff.
Awesome. Well, just hearing that. And in fact, when we first met and we, were conversing and stuff, I had no idea what your background was, but you kept showing up and giving insights and support and helping other people. And so kind of reached out to Jenn and just said, hey, I love your help. You're doing awesome. And then I found out her background and I'm just thinking, this is awesome. She's such a gift to our Facebook group. So thank you so much for hanging out with us today. So I wanted you to just tell a little bit about what your experience is with rhythmic movement, and then I'll kind of go into explaining a little bit about what it is. So tell us your first experience with it.
Well, I have a 6-year-old son who is on the spectrum, and he definitely has some sensory processing challenges with sensory processing disorder. We've worked with OT for about 4 years at this point, and we've had actual speech therapy for about 5. So, and I'm always kind of on the lookout for new sensory integration techniques that we can use within our home to help improve and enhance what he's doing with his treatment in outpatient. So that's what actually brought me to your Calm the Chaos workshop, because literally my son's favorite thing to do is run up and down the halls in our house, just back and forth all day long. So that can get a little chaotic. So when you were talking about the rhythmic movement, I'm like, that's something that we haven't tried yet. I'm really interested. Tell me more. I want to learn how to do this. So we started with the one rhythmic movement that you taught within the workshop. And my son, who generally does not say what he likes and dislikes, was like, stop, mommy. And so he didn't like it. And so we tried some of the other rhythmic movements. He didn't really like those either. So I came to you, Amanda, and in all of your wisdom, you suggested to rock his bed gently after he goes to sleep. So we started to do that one night, and we did that for about 2 weeks. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to just let daddy put him to sleep for a couple of nights. And the following days, he was just like completely off kilter. You know, we were having extreme behaviors, really bad tantrums, aggression, and all of those things. And I'm like, what is going on here? And it struck me that the only difference was that we had not rocked the bed the night before. Mm-hmm. So ever since then, we have been rocking that bed every night. And then about a couple of weeks ago, we have really started to see like a huge jump in his ability to use his communication in a functional manner. He's using full sentences with actual like descriptors that was like, okay, this isn't something that, you know, we've been really working on saying this particular thing. And so we're getting more of his independent thought processes out, and just a lot of more verbal. He has been reaching out and communicating with other people, so that social piece is improving. Mm-hmm. And this week especially, his eye contact has just been absolutely phenomenal. And it's like everybody who is like seeing him and knows him, they're like, what are you doing differently? And really, this is the only thing that we're doing differently from what we've been doing for the past 4 years. So it's just been absolutely incredible. I, would not have thought that these gentle movements would make such an impact.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That's actually way more than I expected. In fact, when I was like, why don't you try this? Because I'm a person who's pretty open to trying anything. And this is something that I was trained in because I wanted to work with my own daughter. Now she's 14, which is a different animal than a 6-year-old doing movements. But we found lots of improvements with her as well by using these. And ultimately, they calm and connect the nervous system, and they help integrate the sensory system in a very, very gentle way. And so they're so powerful because these are really the movements that tiny babies make starting inside the womb. These are the movements they make that helps them eventually, roll over and sit up and walk and start to speak, because these movements help build the brain from the bottom up. And for a lot of kids, more and more every day are struggling. It's so disproportionate when I talk to the teachers I work with. Like, they're like, 10 years ago, it was not this chaotic with kids. We did not have so many kids that were constantly struggling. with all sorts of behavior challenges, and we don't know why all of that is happening. We don't know why the autism rate is going through the roof. We don't know all of the repercussions for the environment, for technology. Like, we're all just trying to figure this thing out. But what I have seen in a lot of clients is doing these little tiny movements are having incredible results with sleep. In fact, when I look on my feed over here, we have Sandra. Hi, Sandra, and Martha, and Sherilyn Russell. And Lorraine is on here, and she has had some incredible results with doing these movements as well with her son. Kids sleeping through the night better than they ever have before. Kids who have generalized kind of anxiety about going to sleep, or just anxiety all day long. These rhythmic movements can have incredible results on these families. And so I had to get on here, and I wanted you to hear Jenn's story, because, it's one thing for me to say, hey, this is amazing, you got to take it. And it's, you would think I'm just trying to sell something, but the reality is it's changing lives. It's calming these kids down. It's helping organize their brains. Now, does it do for every single kid every single time? Of course not, right? Are these movements that can hurt a child? They're very gentle movements. The only caution is that if you have a child who is prone to seizures, or maybe Down syndrome, they might have some neck issues. So make sure you talk to your doctor about those things. But otherwise, these are tiny movements that literally are like gently moving in your chair. Like, there's nothing huge and dramatic about them. But that's what's so incredible, is that they are so gentle, and how can they have such an effect on people? So Jenn, how often do you do these movements?
We have been doing the rocking the bed every night. Especially since the days that we didn't, we were having such problems. And both of my children actually like it, because they share a bunk bed. And my 4-year-old, he's like, are you going to rock the bed tonight? Of course I'm going to rock the bed.
So you don't have to wait till they're asleep now. They'll do it while they're awake?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And actually has been helping my 6-year-old fall asleep faster. Even with a recommended dose of melatonin every night, there were still at least 1 or 2 days, sometimes more out of the week, that it would take him an hour or two after we sent him to bed. And that's after we allowed for like 45 minutes for his melatonin to kick in. So, and with the rhythmic movement, he is like 10-15 minutes and he's out like a light.
That's so awesome. So now I want to know, because I haven't asked you this, do you rock it like from head to foot, or from the side?
Because it is a bunk bed, it is easier to rock it from side to side for us.
Okay.
But it seems to be getting the same beneficial result.
Yeah. And both of those are important, because there's really I teach 4 movements in the course, and they do a little bit different of movement on the body, but ultimately these are movements that we could teach our kids to do themselves, to help calm themselves down when they need to. So that's so exciting. There was another question I was going to ask you about it, but now it slipped my mind. I should have written it down, but so let me see if there's any questions here in the feed. Does anybody have any questions about the rhythmic movement? There's actually a video, I believe, on here that's saved, where I talked about the rhythmic movements, the sensory motor mini course, a couple weeks ago, where I introduced it, and then I actually taught the class live. So if anybody is interested in attending a live class of me teaching it, well, a live Zoom class teaching it, then go ahead and just put that in the comments below that you would like to participate in that. Hi, Nora. So good to see you. Does anybody have any questions about these movements? Or is anybody else on here? Well, I know Lorraine's on here. Anybody else have some experience with these movements that's been significant? Go ahead and put that in the bottom. Hi, Aya. I think it's Aya.
I will say, for anyone who decides to join the sensory and motor mini course, if you don't get results immediately, don't let that discourage you and stop you from doing it, because I mean, it's almost been almost 2 months that we've been rocking the bed. And it's just, within this past couple of weeks that we're seeing this dramatic improvement in his development.
Yeah. Yeah. So first it was behavior, and you could just see he was more organized in the days. And when you didn't do it, he was pretty chaotic, right?
Yes, very chaotic.
Right. And it does. That's the thing with these movements, are you really need to do them every single day for 5 to 10 minutes. It's not a long time. And especially if you're just doing one movement because you're rhythmically moving the bed, that's even simpler than doing the 4 movements. So that would be interesting to add to the next live where we could actually demonstrate moving the bed. So that might be something that someone could do that wouldn't, if the child didn't like that. So when she said he didn't like to be moved, I says, do it while he's asleep so that he's getting input, but he's not really resisting it, because sometimes any sort of movement with kids who have a lot of sensory challenges, it's too much for them. They can't handle it and stay regulated. So my question to you, it came back to my brain and then it literally left again. This is hilarious. I'm so funny. Wow. Let's see here. What was I going to ask you? I think there was some concern you did ask me about, because I list in the workbook that sometimes for some kids, there might be a little bit of regression, right? So when you start these movements, sometimes you can see a little bit of regression for a week or 10 days. And then what happens is that it's starting to organize the brain. And so sometimes it's a little wonky, and then it'll start, all those nerve endings will start connecting more efficiently and really ordering the blocks of development in the brain. And then the sensory can be integrated, and it's so powerful. I love it. It actually comes from a book by Harold Blomberg. He's a psychiatrist out of Sweden, and you can look his book up. It's called The Rhythmic Movement. You can look into that and read the science behind it. It's really powerful for kids that have ADHD and focus challenges, kids with anxiety, sleep challenges, as well as obviously integrating the sensory system. So if we don't have any questions here, hi. Can you repost? I would like to. Oh, hi, Kimberly. Nice to see you. You would like to have that. Okay, I can. And I can tag you. Yes, please purchase the mini class yesterday. Oh, I saw that, Shirley. Cool. Let me know if you have any questions about that. Or show the movements again. Yes. You know what? I didn't actually do a movement in this class. I did it in March, but I didn't do one here. So maybe I'll go over to the private group and post that. So it's good to be with you guys today. Thank you so much, Jen, for just popping on here and talking about it. I'm sure as soon as I push end broadcast, I'm going to know what my question was and I'm going to laugh. So if it's that important, I will ask you on the Facebook page, and then you can answer that.
Sounds
good.
But
I figured it out. Okay, so here's my question before I end. Sorry, everyone. This is me. I'm just live. What do you think? Now, obviously, you've been at home. Mm-hmm. What kind of connection do you feel like being at home and him being in a different environment, right? So he's not getting the same therapy he used to get, right? But right. Now he's at home in an environment that's probably more calm, I would guess. There's less going on. Have you made a connection on how much you feel like that has made a difference in this?
I think it's easier to kind of get him to focus on tasks, obviously, at home probably than in the school setting, just because there is a lot going on and there's a lot to distract him. But I mean, in all fairness, we've had this situation before because he just started kindergarten this year, and before kindergarten, we were in the same situation that we're in now. We're at home, he's got his brother here and things like that. And we're still not seeing this level of a jump. Yeah. Currently, he's not actually even receiving his speech. He's only going to OT twice a week. And so, there's just no other explanation for his speech improving to this level. I think this was just like, I think it kind of fit in with everything that we've been trying to do and trying to implement. This was just
Yeah.
a missing piece for us.
Right.
So
Right. Well, I'm so happy for your family. I know when you posted the beginning of this week, when you were like, my son walked up to me, he looked in my eyes for the first time and said, "I love you, mommy." And how you're like,
we've
I
done
literally,
so much.
right? And you just,
Yeah. We have trained, like, we worked with him a lot. So he would usually, if I told him that I loved him, he would say it back. We weren't getting the eye contact with it. And that was literally the first time that he's done it on his own, like without modeling or anything. Came up, looked right in my face. I've seen more of his face this week than I have his entire life combined. And it's just like, this is changing my family, and it's giving me so much hope for him that, he is engaging more with other people. You asked me before about those aunts, and if you recall, my aunt, my annoying negative
yes.
thought was that, what if we never get there? What if we're using all of this time and effort and money and everything and we never get there? And right now that aunt is like gone.
I'm so glad. I was just thinking of that, actually. That came to my mind because, and I remember you're saying, well, what do I do about this? Because what if it doesn't? So I'm so glad that honestly your prayers are being answered.
Absolutely.
And your consistency. Like, it's not easy to be consistent to do things like this, but you've already been working so hard. When you have a child on the spectrum, and the therapies that basically are the normal therapies are like hours and hours and hours a week,
Yeah,
right?
a lot. Yes. Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's a 30-hour week sometimes just with therapies for some kids. Now with COVID, obviously that changed dramatically. But if you can do something like this for like 10 minutes at night, it's kind of mind blowing. And it's not something I created. Like, this is something that the brain recognizes. When the brain gets the input, it goes, oh, it's time to organize. It's time to do what I was, programmed to do. And so I'm glad I figured out my question, because you sharing that is so meaningful, right? What parent doesn't want to have that kind of experience with their child that's genuine and can see the growth developmentally and emotionally in your child? So I'm so tickled about this. I'm so happy for you, Jenn. Thank you again. This is the real goodbye, but thank you again for being with us here today.
Okay, everybody. It's Amanda again. Hi. Okay, I wanted to share that, Jenn. That was such a great story. And I'm so excited for everything that your child will accomplish because of these movements. So happy for you. I wanted to know, is there any questions anybody has about this? Any questions that have come into the group about the rhythmic movements? I know we read quite a few wins of people already feeling like, oh my gosh, this is making a big difference. Before we get off, I want to make sure that I've answered any questions for you. I'll just look here. In fact, I might be able to play the video. Let me see if I can find the rhythmic movement video while you guys are posting your question. Let me see. I think it might be on my desktop. Let's double check here. It's a beautiful day. Yeah. It's a beautiful day. Oh, there it is. I found it. Okay, so let me pop this on really quick. I think this is valuable for you guys. Okay, we haven't got any questions yet. So if you don't have a question or you wonder if rhythmic movements might help your child, make sure that you either join the group coaching program, because we have that available for you. It's part of the program, and I can help mentor you through those movements so you don't have to feel alone. Or you can buy it just by itself and try that out. Okay, so let's see. Let me pull this up really quick. Let's see, on the desktop. Okay, here we go. I'm going to play this one for you guys. Okay, so this is the second movement that I'd like to teach you. And the child is laying on their belly, their prone position, and they have their arms bent and their foreheads resting on their hands. For some children, they might like a pillow underneath their feet. My other daughter really likes that, but for this one, she's fine without it. And again, it's a really simple movement of which there's a few ways you can do it, and you want to ask the child which ones they like. You can move the belly from side to side. You can pull it like this. It's one way. And you can push it. They might like it pushed. Or you can hold it on both sides and rock that back and forth this way. And the last way you can do it is by holding on to the belt of their pants, and you can rock back and forth in that rhythmic manner. So Maggie, which one do you like best? Both hands? Both hands. Okay, so we'll do this rhythmic movement with both hands. Again, between 2 and 5 minutes. Singing as you go, or doing nursery rhymes or poems is a wonderful way. And now I realize I didn't ask her how fast or slow she wanted it. Maggie, is that too fast? Do you want to go slower?
Slower.
What?
Slower.
Is this good?
Slower.
Oh, slower. Okay, so she wants it a little slower. Good. So that's as simple as it is. Okay, so that is the movement I taught you guys in the workshop. If you weren't able to watch all the workshop videos, you still have a little bit of time till midnight on Tuesday, tomorrow, to watch them. And then everything's coming down from the workshop. I will still be here. There'll be some Mondays with Amanda in the unit section. We'll still have our other resources in the file sections. We're active. Every day I'm posting something in here, and on Mondays I have a live. So you have support. If you aren't joining the high touch group coaching, there is still much for you to learn here in this group. We'd love to have you participate. So if you have any questions about this, please post them in this thread, and Jen or I will answer those for you. The link is in here in case you want to join the coaching program, which we have still a couple more spots left, and we've extended the weekend bonuses. And so that probably is, for some of you, that might just be the ticket to want to join the group coaching. So if you pay in full, you get 12 private one-on-one coaching sessions with me. If you join before Tuesday at midnight, you get an extra 6. So that's 18 private coaching sessions with me, which is actually more than I've ever given anybody. So I just want you to know that you will get your money's worth, and you will reach the goals that are important for your family at your pace, and you'll have all the support that you need. So remember, we have all the bonuses still available until Tuesday at midnight, and that includes the Connected Marriage Masterclass. It includes the 6 coaching sessions with me. It also includes the class I taught on how to re-script your ants or your annoying negative thoughts so that you can reach your goals. And then lastly, I actually do a full sensory and movement assessment for a child of your choice. So that would include some assessment paperwork, some videos that I would have you send in so that I could help really tailor the movements for rhythmic movements or primitive reflex movements to help your child really reach his full potential and to wire the brain as efficiently as possible so that the meltdowns stop and the focus improves and the sleeping improves and the learning improves. So that's what you get in the full program. We would love to have you. There's a couple spots left, so make sure you hop on and grab those before they are gone. So excited to have you guys here today. Bless you, and I will see you next Monday. All right. See you later, everyone. Of course, there's a watch party tonight at 7, so you can watch this with Jenn. Shout out to Jenn. Way to go, Jenn. Okay. See you, everyone. Bye.